Hey guys, this is Deric here today. I want to talk a little bit about selling what people want instead of selling what you do. If you're struggling to scale your service-based businesses, or you feel like you're getting deals by luck, you're probably selling skills, which is what I think is considered a commodity today, right? Instead of solutions or outcomes. Solutions or outcomes to painful problems. Selling solutions makes you irreplaceable, and it makes you a lot more scalable than someone who's selling skills, which in my opinion can be pretty much a commodity today if you don't play your cards right. So skills are commodities in my opinion. To define skills, I see skills as tools, right? Like apples in a supermarket. There's so many available, and mainly it's going to be judged by price. For example, if you think about graphic design, even web development today, right? Design, development, digital marketing, whatever it is, if you say, hey, I do web design, or hey, I do digital marketing, this is a very level one kind of statement in terms of what you do. And it makes me question, like, how does that make you any different from that Indian guy who also sells web development? Whatever answer you have to my question just now should be what you're pitching to kind of put yourself in a different position as compared to someone who's also doing the same thing. Does that make sense, right? Because clients buy app development or graphic design, they buy these things like how you buy an apple, right? They buy these things like how you buy ingredients only when you need it. So what happens here is clients will end up picking something based on proximity. They pick something based on timing, right? Whoever replies fast. And finally, also based on who gives them the best pricing, right? And if you're expensive, they're just going to end up finding someone else. You do not want to put yourself in that position. So move on to sell outcomes, right? Sell results. Don't ask me how you get it, right? Don't ask me how we're going to get it, but we're going to get you this very sexy result. Do you want to work with me or not? That's it, right? Don't go out there and say, hey, we do web design. That's level one. That's the rest of the world is doing it. What makes you different? So yeah, skills are commodities today. So solutions instead, right? Which is outcomes. Outcomes are things that actually solve a problem that your client is facing. To define a solution is something that fixes a specific painful problem for a specific group of people. That's how I would define a solution. For example, I help gym owners increase signups through better conversion landing pages, right? This is a solution. This is not a skill. You're selling the end result. You're selling the dream first before you sell the how you do it, right? Sell the dream. You're able to get whatever results for them, get them hooked in first, and then tell them what you do, right? Because if you have a special way of doing things that's different from someone else, then that's amazing, right? But the point here is you are guaranteeing them, or you're promising them a certain result that for them is like, okay, if I can get this result, if I can get 1,000 leads for 100 ringgit per month, then go ahead and get it from me. They're not going to ask you how you do it, whether you have the best strategies. No, as long as you get the results from me, I'm happy. That's what people are buying here. And it's even sexier if you're able to stack a guarantee on top of it. And if I don't get this result for you, I'll give you your money back. That makes people choose you instead of someone else who says, I help you get leads. You know what I'm saying? We're all getting leads. It's how do you craft your offer to stand out? So if you do this, then you can identify and proactively target people who have that problem, even if they've never heard of you. And another reason why selling solutions is better than selling what you do is that selling solutions attract clients. Skills often rely on chance. It relies on connections, and it relies on referrals. Solutions, on the other hand, allows you to go outbound and say, you have this problem, let me solve it for you, right? So this approach of selling solutions will actually bring in strangers, not just friends or friends of friends. It allows you to go outbound. And this is the only way to build a business, right? By going outbound and closing strangers, not just your friends, right? Because you don't want to run a business where, oh, okay, I'm going to work with you because you're my friend and I trust you, right? That's a tough way to build a business, because what if one day the tap switches off? That's why a lot of people today that I know end up running a business where they're just waiting for the next referral to come in. And if, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever amount of months, no referral comes in, they are cooked. They are in trouble, right? So that's why you got to run a business where you can appeal to outsiders as well, right? Because like I said, if all you say is, I do web design, you're not different from another person who does web design. And basically then the one who will win the deal is the one who is the friend, right? But how many friends do you have? So you got to do an offer that is able to sell to a non-friend. And that's the exact same thing that I did 5 years ago when I first started my software development agency and also my coding school, Sigma School. I explicitly did not sell to my friends. I did not want, number one, also because when the product was still not super ready, I didn't want to kind of disappoint my friend. So I didn't want to go to my friends. I just went straight up to strangers. And I knew, because at the end of the day, if someone's going to buy from me because they're my friend, it's not a scalable business to begin with, right? So I always think about how can I make strangers pay me the dollar first, and slowly after that, honestly, your friends will also come in if you're providing something of value to other strangers that's even more meaningful to your friends, and they will come in after that. So yeah. And the next thing would be, it's still linking back to the point on being a commodity or being something different, right? Selling outcomes allows you to be more valuable, because when you solve a a problem that not many others can solve or no one else can solve, that makes you irreplaceable, and that makes you so much more valuable in the marketplace, right? Your clients will be more thankful, they pay you more, and they will stay longer because they can't compare you with someone else. Does that make sense? If I look at two apples in front of me and I gotta choose an apple, I'm just gonna choose, I'll just simply put, because there's no difference, I'll just randomly pick one. It's picking by choice, right? But if I'm able to provide something to the marketplace where no one else provides, even if it's a special angle that you may think is niche, it's okay. At least you're dominating that niche. So like, for example, if you're the only one who can fix the funnel for a dentist in Puchong, right? In Selangor, Puchong, which is a city in Malaysia, right? To fix their broken funnels and drive them revenue, they're going to thank you for it. And then you can just go out there and look for all the clinics in Puchong, and you can be the leader in helping Puchong clinics get revenue and sales. If you can do this, you're going to be indispensable, albeit in a smaller market, but you will still be a champion in that small little niche. So really, skill versus solution, this is meaningful because that's actually not that big of a change that you're going to do, right? It's mostly just about messaging. You don't need to change what you do exactly. You just need to change the way you talk about it, right? You talk about the problem that you solve and not the skills that you offer, right? For example, app development is a skill, but if you say we help solo founders launch MVP, right, minimum viable products, MVP in 30 days without hiring a full team, or we give you your money back, right? If you say something like this, right, you're selling a solution, you're giving them a guarantee, and you immediately stand out compared to the rest, right? Instead of saying, I build apps, right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where I'm coming from. So you're gonna have to also understand why clients hire you, right? Every client comes to you for a different problem. Some lack technical expertise, some lack the time or the manpower. So know which specific problem that your client is trying to solve when they contact you, and tailor your offering towards them. And it's also important to not sell to people that you don't understand. If you don't understand their pain points and you don't understand their daily life, you can't solve the problem for them effectively, right? And it's not going to be possible for you to understand everybody. So it's always better to serve people who are like you. You understand them, they understand you, right? They're similar to you, and or people that you are very close to, like your friends and your families, or yourself, or just your current existing pool of clients. Go deep on these people and that user persona rather than trying to target everybody, right? So you can understand and connect on a very deep level, and that's also how you stand out. So I think that's pretty much what I want to talk about today when it comes to selling solutions instead of selling what you do. I don't have that much more to add, but I hope you get the idea that it's all about selling the end goal and standing out from the marketplace. And this doesn't apply to just closing clients. This applies to every single thing in life, right? When it comes to getting a job, when it comes to getting a girlfriend, when it comes to, standing out in whatever events or social settings you're in, how do you stand out? How do you become different? And how do you communicate what you do? All right. So all the best, crush it out there. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.